So yeah, Jason, tell us a little bit about Key Link and all that you guys, all that you do there at your location there.
Okay, so we are based out of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. We are a family-owned business that started in 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
A little off on that one. I don't remember the exact year. Um, we do fencing and railing out of our aluminum fencing and railing out of our facility. We offer we offer a variety of railings, variety of fencing options. All of it out of our facility is aluminum and powder coated.
Mm-hmm. And so you all, is it Superior owns you all, correct? You're kind of a subsidiary of them, right? With that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Uh, let's talk powder coating, and then we're going to get into. I know you guys just went through a huge certification process, which I know is very. There's only I think 6 or 7 facilities in the U.S. that have this certification.
Okay.
But tell me, how long have you guys been doing powder coating at your location there?
Powder coating at our location here is right around 5 years. I've only been with the company a little over a year, so
Mm-hmm.
I have some of the back knowledge as far as how long we've been doing it. My understanding is it's been around 5 years. We've been doing it in house.
Okay.
Um, go ahead.
I was going to say, what are some of the parts that you do? I know the railings and things like that. Is that mostly what you do, or?
Yeah, so we do railings, post, and then balusters are a lot of our what we powder coat. Fencing, we do fence post, we do pickets, and then we do the fence rails as well. And then we do some rails for our vinyl. Over at
Mm-hmm.
Superior, they do vinyl fencing, vinyl railing. We make some of the parts for them for some of their series um, of railings. So they
Right.
do the aluminum railing that is similar to ours, has a drink rail on top. So we powder coat the metal support for the drink rail, and then
Mm-hmm.
we do balusters for one of their series of railings as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And are these the larger railings? I know I've seen these some of these railings being powder coated before. Some of them can be very long, put together pieces, right? Where it's difficult to turn, and I know that often becomes a problem. Is that some of the you guys do some of those long sizes?
So we have the capability to do some longer sizes. We do have 3 powder coat lines. So we have
Mm-hmm.
2 automated line that we have max capacity, max length capacity on those,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have a hand coating line as well. So we do custom bend sections for bent decks and curved decks that we can do railings for those.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as well as we can do longer lengths on there. Like we do some post wrap cladding
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
for a round post outside, and we do like 12-foot section or 12-foot lengths of those
Mm.
for larger jobs where they want to wrap their post, maybe a wooden post or a vinyl post that they don't want to take the vinyl off of, so they'll buy the aluminum post wrap and put that around the post to get the color finish that they would like.
Right. Okay. Great. Now you said you had 3 operating lines. Tell me a little bit about what do you use, some of the equipment and stuff that you guys got there. Give us kind of a look at what those lines look like for you.
Yeah, so we have 3 operating lines. 2 of them are automated. Like I said, the one has 8-foot load bars on it, so we can run up to about 10 foot on that in length.
Mm.
That handles most of our balusters, pickets, rails, and then like fence post and longer post stuff like that. It goes through a 5-stage wash. We do 2, surface prep cleaning stages, and then a couple rinses, and then an etcher slash sealer. It'll go through a dry off oven into the powder booth. We use the Nordson Color Max booths,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes through our curing oven and comes out and gets unhung and over to our packaging cells. Um, the 2 automated lines are duplicated of each other. The only difference is the one line is set up with 8-foot load bars, our other is set up for 4-foot load bars. So we run the same cleaning process through all 3 of our lines. Um, and then we also, on the smaller line, we run our small parts, our brackets and accessories that we sell with our fences. and then all three of them use Nordson. Our third line is a hand spray line, so we can do longer lengths. And what we do there is it's all manual. We manual wash and then dry off, and then powder coat with Nordson a Nordson equipment there, and then we do the curing as well, all there. So it's all manual. So we kind of have the ability to cross train all of our techs, whether it be being able to run a booth, or the knowledge of hand spraying and getting the finer detail of the powder coating aspect.
Right. Yeah. Cross training is important in this day and age when labor's an issue. Sometimes you got to have people to know everything that needs to be done. Correct? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We really put an initiative, last year on cross training across the plant, and in the powder coating, booth itself. It's nice to have that flexibility with our techs to be able to move them back and forth between equipment.
Gotcha. So let's talk about the certification. Like I said, I know it's how did you all come up with the idea? What made you come up with the idea that you wanted to go for the certification? I know it's voluminous. You have to do a lot of things and make sure you're tip top on a lot of it. So where did that idea come from to do that?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've only been here for a little over a year. That was something that was presented to me late last summer, maybe early fall. It was something was mentioned, I believe, one of our, I'm going to say, architectural gentlemen in the office had mentioned something about PCI, so started doing a little bit of digging into it. We felt that it would be something to pursue as a management team. We thought it would be something that would help set us apart from competitors, and then as well as we're always striving to get better. We want to learn where our shortfalls may be, what we can do to improve our processes, what we can do to put better quality product out the door.
So I guess when you first took a look at all the things that they were going to certify you on that list, what was your first reaction to that? I mean,
yeah. So we had a pre-meeting, quality manager, quality tech, myself, and then my team leads of the PC tech team, and then my hand coding line. We all got together and went over the audit and kind of went through everything. And a lot of it we saw on there was already stuff we were doing. So we were like, let's pursue it. Let's get them in here. Let's do the audit. Let's see what it looks like. We're going to learn. And that's really the mindset we went into it with, is we're going to find out, if we're up to par for PCI or not. And if we're not, what do we need to do to get up to par? And then, maybe they're going to come to us, and when they do the audit, they're going to show us things that say, yeah, you're up to par, but here's how you could get better, and here's how you could put better product out the door. And ultimately that's our goal as a company, is to make sure we're putting the best quality product out the door that we can.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say it certainly hits every point, and I guess did you all? You said some of the things you said you all were already doing, correct?
Yeah.
Was there a little bit of a lead time to make sure that you were getting things ready for the inspection and the audit? It takes some time to get things that you weren't maybe doing, but it sounds like you were doing a lot of them.
Yeah, actually, we were doing the majority of the list. There was a couple of things we might have had to tighten up the fine details and cross our I's and dot our T's as far as we were doing it, but just making sure it was documented, and that it was updated documents and stuff like that, to make sure that that maybe the way it was worded there, we just wanted to yeah, we're doing that, but here's the things we learned by the way it was worded.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. And then, like I said, from the time that you all, come up with this idea, you're going to commit to it. And then when did the actual audit begin? How much time did you have for that to get ready? Was there a time frame in that, or?
We started the audit in March. It was the end of March we did the audit. It was 3 days. Quality manager and one of my PC tech team lead was, and the quality, our quality person were all, in on that, and spent 3 days with the auditor. I was jumping in and out during the audit to help out where needed, answer any questions that were needed, and kind of provide, any documentation, background, that kind of stuff that that they would have asked for that I would have as far as training logs that maybe uh, they didn't have the access to. So, but outside of that, yeah, I mean, we like I said, when I first came on, it probably tail end of summer last year, beginning of fall, it was brought up. We started doing, the background work into it, doing some due diligence to see what all it involved, or what all, was there anything on our end that we needed to do to, to make that work. And
Mm-hmm.
then once we committed to it, we got it scheduled, did the audit in March, and then I believe it was going to say in May we heard back. You may have the exact date.
Mm-hmm.
I know I seen the publication go out saying that we're PCI 4000 certified. So um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was end of March that we did it. I think it was like right around the week of March 27th. I believe that was about the date,
Okay.
27th, 28th, somewhere in that area. So
So, like I said, it sounds like you guys have all your ducks in a row. But still, did you have any kind of apprehension going going into this? Making sure that you're going to be judged, right? And we're going to, whether you pass or fail. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Anytime you go into an audit, you're always, there's always a little bit of concern of, yeah, I know I crossed my I's, crossed my T's, dotted my I's, made sure I
Mm-hmm.
did everything on my end, but you just never know what may be found in an audit that it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. So, there's always that little bit of not hesitation, but like anticipation of heading into the audit of what we're going to find. So, but like I said, we all went into the audit as as a management team, as a group of one way
Mm-hmm.
or another, we're going to learn from this audit. We're gonna find out what we can do better, what we can do to up our standards, and really maximize the value of the audit as far as the learning aspect of it.
I mean, were there a couple things? I don't know if you could point one or two things out that you guys kind of learned, or you kind of tweaked or changed, just to kind of, which really resulted maybe in a better workflow, a better output for you all. Is there anything that?
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of things, we learned like we were doing in the audit, or that like we learned, and were just some, maybe preventative maintenance that was
Mhm.
recommended. Like, hey, you do this, but here's a increased frequency. We're doing some more stringent outside testing from our chemical supplier and our powder supplier. We were doing them annually. We just increased it just to
Mm.
give us a little more comfort, and make sure we're upholding the standards we set for ourselves. So um, like I said,
Yeah.
yeah, we were doing them annually, but now we bumped them up. We're doing them quarterly, just to just kind of say, yep, we're really driving home the quality that we stand by as a company.
Right. We talk about quality, but I guess also as a manager, you want consistency, right? You want
Yes.
everything exactly. Kind of, I sometimes call it, like the Starbucks effect. You want the same cup of coffee wherever you go into those stores, right? And so you as a
Absolutely.
manager, you want the same application, the same thickness, everything to be
Mhm.
exactly the same, right? I mean, it
Yeah.
sounds like you all were hitting that mark pretty closely, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, we have an excellent group here as far as the PC Tech team. They do a fantastic job of really dialing in the duties of their job, making sure we're putting a consistent product out. They're very diligent on
Mm.
making sure that they're doing the best to put a consistent product out the door, as
Mm-hmm.
well as they're doing their best to help us improve. Hey, if we tweak how we hang, this part, or
Mm-hmm.
we, make this modification, we're going to get a better coating out of it. So, my hat's off to them. They do a fantastic job, really driving home. Let's put out a consistent product, and they don't hesitate to, raise their hand and, call to attention when they see something that just doesn't seem
Right.
right, or they even just that doesn't look right to me. Let's get the right people looking at it to make sure. So
Mm-hmm. Now, you say you joined Keyline back at the end of last summer. Had you had a lot of experience with powder coating previously, or what was your experience leading up to that?
so I started in April of 2022
Hmm.
with Keylink, and prior to that, I was in the food industry.
Hmm.
I had worked for a food manufacturing company for 14 years prior to that. So no, I had no powder coating experience. I came into this with a fresh set of eyes and just said, you know what, it's a challenge I want to learn. So,
Right. Well, production is production, right? I mean, you want to hit it consistently. You want to be able to hit things on time and everything. It all kind of it just happens to be that you're applying powder to these parts, correct? I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Whether you're producing a food product or you're producing railing, there's always standards you want. Production, like you said. So yeah,
Yeah.
a little different, a little change. A lot of learning, but yeah, it's been fun.
Right, right. And, like I said, when you're doing parts, like I said, you want to be consistent with everything. You know, what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe going to go through this process? First of all, getting prepped for it, getting ready for it. It sounds like you're ready to find out good, bad, or indifferent how you guys were doing, right?
Hmm.
But what advice would you give shops who are getting ready for this or contemplating it, really?
I would say, the best thing we did was, get the kind of get the handle on it. I think PCI on their website has kind of a mock audit you could do.
Hmm.
So really just looking into that and, seeing what you got going on. And then when you go into the audit, you know, be prepared to learn something and, be open to it. Cause, the auditor we had was fantastic. He was like, hey, I've been doing this a while and I'll give you recommendations of things that I see that necessarily aren't issues, but maybe ways to improve your process. So yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, just be open minded and willing to listen, because they may give you something that you're going to be like, oh wow, I didn't think of it that way. Let's try it. Or hey, you make this tweak, you might get a better product out. So
Right. Yeah. Tell me some numbers. How many do you have on your team? You were talking about the powder coating team, the tech team, and everything. How many you got on that group?
so my tech team consists of two team leads and six powder coating techs.
Hmm.
And then I have about 12 members of the hanging team. So
Gotcha.
altogether,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. Do
Go
you
ahead.
all do any outside work, or is it just strictly your in-house operation
We
for?
do just key link and superior stuff. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
um,
Any? I was going to go ahead.
I was to say everything that we powder coat leaves our facility
Hmm.
and goes to either one of our end customers or over to Superior to get used in their products. So
Gotcha. How many? Any estimate? How many parts do you guys do? Either weekly or monthly or yearly? It sounds like you're pushing a lot of parts through that.
on a daily average, we're somewhere in the area of about 20,000, 25,000, depending on the mix on the two lines.
Really,
So
daily, right? Is that what you're saying?
right now, yes, we're in
Yeah.
the busy season, so yeah, we're putting yeah, it's probably somewhere in about 20 to 25,000.